Joining us today is Jennifer Farmer. She is the author of First and Only, a Black Woman's Guide to Thriving at Work and in Life. She is an advisor to the Nina Turner for US Congress campaign, and she is also the founder of Spotlight PR. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Ben.
The pleasure is ours. Could you tell us a little bit about your work and particularly how it intersects with that of Nina Turner and her campaign?
Sure. So I work with leaders who are committed to racial justice and social justice. And I work with political leaders, celebrities, as well as nonprofits who are advocating and pushing for change. I first met Nina Turner in 2009. She was a state senator, and I was the deputy chief of staff for the Senate Democrats here in Ohio. So I've known her for over 12 years. I've known of her character, her passion for change, and also her real desire to make life better for people who society often overlooks.
Now, Senator Turner, she's running for the 11th congressional district, and recently there has been, I guess I don't want to say a controversy because this is what happens in campaigns. You have candidates who oftentimes sling mud at each other, and I kind of want to discuss the substance of that coming from Shontel Brown and some of the tweets that she sent out. But before we get into that, just tell me how the campaign is going in general.
The campaign is going very, very well. I mean, Senator Turner is racking up endorsements from people, not just across the country, but inside the district. Mayor Frank Jackson recently endorsed Senator Turner. We also have former minority leader Senator C.J. Prentice, Representative Stephanie House. So just a number of local endorsements. Obviously, she's doing a tremendous job raising money. Has raised over $2.2 million. And I want to pause there because often when Black women run for office, often it is an uphill battle in terms of collecting enough money to be competitive. What Nina Turner has done in terms of just amassing a significant amount of money in a very short period of time should be applauded. So the campaign is going very, very well.
That's awesome to hear. I mean, full transparency, I also support Nina Turner because of her progressivism, because of her all the things that you've mentioned here. But in that she's raising this kind of money and she is doing as well as she's doing, you can expect that someone who is out front will get some attacks, and some of the attacks that have come from the Brown campaign has been around her criticisms of Joe Biden or any number of things. Let's unpack that for me, and more importantly than just the attacks, how have those attacks affected the campaign?
Well, let me just say first and foremost that America is a nation that does not always appreciate vocal Black women or Black women with an opinion. Nina Turner, as someone whose childhood was punctuated by poverty, as someone who lives in an area that is among the poorest cities in the United States, certainly among large cities, she is intolerant of not pushing as hard as possible for change. And so what I find interesting about these attacks is there is a notion that we should not have an opinion. Senator Turner has been, she has shared her perspective, but she has also acknowledged where she feels like the president has gone certainly beyond maybe what she expected. What is also interesting to me is, Vice President Kamala Harris, she had some reservations, some concerns about President Biden. That did not disqualify her from being vice president. And so I think that when we think about Nina Turner and the work that she's doing, and really other Black women who are running for office, we have to be careful that we allow people space to have their own opinion without discarding them completely. I mean, Ben, we're talking about someone who has been a loyal Democrat. She was the Democratic nominee for Ohio Secretary of State in 2014, has been a DNC delegate several times. So we're talking about someone, her bona fides are definitely there.
Yeah. And I appreciate you framing it like that because the issue that I'm seeing, and we have a couple of tweets from Shontel Brown for Congress that I want to read, but the framing of the quote unquote attacks to anyone reasonable, from my best perspective, is pretty trivial in that it attempts to label Nina Turner as a problem because she had an issue with Joe Biden during the campaign. And quite frankly, I mean, okay, yeah, why not? Like you pointed out, Kamala Harris had issues with Joe Biden in the campaign. But let me read this first tweet. It says, according to Nina Turner yesterday, and this is Chantel Brown for Congress, I launched an attack ad against her. The ad says that she's been highly critical of Joe Biden, is being highly critical, no longer something Nina Turner is proud of, and now that she's trying to win votes. And then she went on to say, after years of building a brand for being highly critical, and then she lists some Democrats, Nina Turner has decided that this brand is politically inconvenient. This suggests to me, I'm just curious what it reads to you, but as I read it, it suggests that we should not be capable of both critiquing politicians and holding them accountable, as well as supporting them when they do the right thing.
I mean, I think that we want elected leaders who have the courage to ask for more, who have the courage to survey what's happening and then ask for more. And that certainly is Nina Turner. I also want to remind your audience that part of what the people in the district are electing her to do is not only work with the president, but also to represent their interests, to take their concerns to Congress. And certainly Nina Turner is someone who can do both. I saw the tweet storm last Friday, and to me, what it read as rage tweeting in an effort to raise money. It's no secret that there's a significant cash, difference between the two campaigns. And to me, this was just an attempt to bring in some more money in order to be competitive.
Okay, so let's set those criticisms aside. I've had a chance to talk with Senator Turner about her campaign, but from your perspective, what are some of the key issues that matter to not only the members of District 11 there in Ohio, but people across the country that they can count on from Senator Turner when she becomes Congresswoman Turner?
So, I mentioned at the outset of my remarks that poverty is a huge deal. In 2019, the Center for Community Solutions found that 115,000 people in Cleveland live in poverty. That includes 37,000 children. It also includes a significant number of older adults. So Senator Turner, again, as someone who grew up in poverty, is passionately committed to ensuring that we have jobs that pay a living wage, and that the conditions that perpetuate poverty are addressed. Certainly at a time of a global pandemic, when 1.3 million people have lost their lives, a disproportionate number of those are Black people, Medicare for All it's not only something that has just become important to Senator Turner, it's something that she's talked about for years. She will continue to champion that. And in terms of relief for COVID, what she has said is we want a relief package that is commensurate with the need. And so where there are disparities in terms of people who've been adversely impacted by COVID or who have borne perhaps more than their fair share, the relief package should speak to that. So those are some of the issues that she's concerned about. Obviously, policing is another critical issue, and ensuring that all people can live in peace and live without fear that doing no wrong can actually cost them their life.
And those are all, as you list them out, just how much those issues resonate right now today, particularly with the different news cycles and the issues that we're facing. Let's talk about your work with that campaign. I know that you are an advisor to her and you're a surrogate, but in particular, like your personal business and the work that you do in PR, how has that been brought to bear to help amplify Senator Turner's campaign?
So I think a lot about who she should be engaging with. I think a lot about strategy. Obviously, my specialty is public relations and communications, and so I advise the communications team on initiatives that I think that we should do. I think about the people who are already aligned with Senator Turner, other surrogates, and how we bring their voice and their perspective to the forefront. The reason that I think that's important is for a lot of people who are outside of Ohio, their introduction to Nina Turner was probably in 2016 or 2020, maybe 2014 when she ran for Secretary of State. For those of us who are from Ohio and who have had an opportunity to observe her, we remember her fighting, when she was on city council, when she was a professor, when she was in the state Senate, which is where I first met her. And my goal from a communications perspective is to bring all of who she is, not just what we saw on the campaign trail when she was supporting Senator Sanders, but the essence of who she is, the work that she's done in Ohio, the people that she's helped. She's visited so many states helping to elect Democrats. And I think about how we bring that to the forefront.
Absolutely. Jennifer Farmer, author of First and Only, A Black Woman's Guide to Thriving at Work and in Life. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
The pleasure's ours.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.